I was so embarrassed by the possibility of making mistakes that I couldn't even speak normally with people. I knew it more than once. However, I realized that to improve in foreign language, practice is key, and the sooner I began talking as much as I could, the faster my English would improve. So, talking to strangers was a perfect compromise. It allowed me to gain confidence without fear of making mistakes because I would probably never see these people in my life again. That actually what made me fall in love with hitchhiking. I live in a remote, pretty forested area, so getting somewhere without a car can be really tricky. And given the choice between public transport and hitchhiking, I always choose the latter. Hi, today marks a year since my immigration to the United States. And I decided to make this video in the hope of helping people who are struggling with adaptation or just want to hear about my journey after immigration. And we all know it's hard journey. And I was one of those who thought it wouldn't be that bad for me. And now I want to share several things I wish I knew earlier, and I believe these tips can significantly streamline the adaptation process. When you forget some details, you may notice how many situations are actually similar. And by this I mean that sometimes you may think like people in the country you immigrated to are completely different, and you can barely be a part of this community due to background differences. It's even quite common to unconsciously form your social cycle based on the fact that people in it grew up in the same place as you or share common culture. Sometimes it can be frustrating to ask yourself whether you would be friends with these people if you were in your home country. By this I mean that it's not a good idea to befriend people only just because you share the common background. I suggest you look for friends based on your interests, hobbies. For example, attending themed meetups can be really beneficial. You'll find people with whom you share common interests, making it easier to adapt to a new community. These people may come from different cultures, and some things might seem strange at first, but as I mentioned in the beginning, we are all humans and not that different after all. Though our experiences might make us seem quite different, many feelings, situations are really so similar if we overlook the details. From this, the next point follows: you don't need to be perfect in a foreign language. Your goal is to be understandable. This actually was a big problem for me. As I told in the very beginning, I was so scared of making mistakes that I decided to practice with strangers. And if you have similar issues where fear causes you the ability to speak more than a few words, this actually might be a solution. The only thing I would recommend is to look for strangers in safer circumstances because I understand I am responsible for what I say here. And even if someone is going to tell you bad things just because you're not perfect in a foreign language, trust me, you probably don't need this person in your life. And please don't lose interest in learning the language of the country you live in. I understand that sometimes people stop at the point where they can handle essential needs such as grocery shopping or paperwork. But the thing is, when you learn a new language, you also learn a new way of thinking and expressing yourself. Different languages have unique grammar, words, idioms that reflect the history and culture of the people who speak them. It will help you feel more at home in your new environment. One of the trickiest things about moving to a new country is dealing with nostalgia. It hits you when you realize that you left your whole past life behind and now you have to build a new one from scratch. And it can be really tough because your life now may feel like it's at a lower level than your life before. It's really important not to get stuck in the past, keeping praising your old life. Sometimes our brains have a way of romanticizing the past, making it seem a way better than it actually was. And this can actually make it harder for you to move forward. One great way to honor your past is to stay connected with the people you were closest to back home. But don't make a mistake of getting stuck only with the people you were closest to back home, because it's often easier to maintain those close relationships you already have than to build the new ones. And it's really important to meet new people and build your new life from scratch. And this will definitely pay off afterwards. I really try to keep a positive attitude about my past rather than getting stuck in nostalgia or melancholy. Let nostalgia be motivation for you to reach out to your closest people or even create something new. I remember being so homesick, so I came up with the idea of opening a cafe where every dish has a meaningful connection to my past. And guests even can read a little book with the story behind each meal. So It's kind of playful way to keep memories alive. And maybe one day, when I don't know, rich and famous, I'll open this place. I'll definitely open this place someday. And the last thing, but not least, if you don't enjoy the journey towards your goal, you really lose a lot. So I wish you best of luck. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments and tell about your experience. See you next time.